Strength and Tone. Jill and I are gonna go through a workout with you so you can do this whenever you like at home. And thank you, Jill.
Thank you, Denise, and we are so glad that you all decided to join us. Hopefully this will make you feel like things are starting to return back to something of normal soon. And we'll have a little fun, get a little exercise while we're doing it. So we're going to start today. We're going to do a nice warm-up. Step our feet out nice and wide. And I just want you to turn side to side. Let your arms rise and fall with gravity. Make sure when you're turning, you're lifting up onto the ball of your foot. So we're not putting any torque on that knee joint. Just a nice gentle swing side to side. Getting everything nice and warmed up. Standing up nice and tall. Feeling like there's a string pulling you up from the top of your head towards the ceiling. Good posture. Okay, let's slow that down and we'll just stop. Now let's do some plie squats. I want you to remember you can use your chair in front of you if you need something to feel a little bit stable. You can hold on to that chair. Otherwise, we're going to push the knees out towards the toes, stretch the arms up and come down. Big breath in and down. In and down. Let's do two more. One more. And now let's just bring those arms up over the head. Bring those hands together. Stretch over to one side. Nice deep breaths. And stretch over to the other side. All right, now we're going to change that plane of movement. So relax the arms down. Bring those feet together. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring those arms up over the head. And we're going to push our hips back and swing them down. And lift up and down. Up and down. Let's do a couple more. One more. Stretch it up nice and tall. Relax those arms out to the side and bring them down. Let's roll those shoulders a few times. And roll them in the other direction. Excellent. All right, now we're going to take those feet out wide again. And this time we're going to add a little bit of a twist and a stretch. So we're going to take that hand out to the side, other side, and stretch. One more on each side. Real deep stretch. Good. All right. And bring those feet back together. We're going to go for a little bit of walk. Remember, you can do this standing or you can do this seated, and we're just going to walk in place. If you're in your chair, you're going to follow Denise. Just marching those legs. Just a nice stroll through the neighborhood. And let's pick up that pace a little bit. Stroll a little bit faster. Good. You can add those arms. That'll get that heart rate pumping a little bit more. And now we're going to stroll. Slow it down. And one more time, a little bit faster. Pump those feet. That heart rate up a little bit. And slow it down. All right, we're going to try a little hand-eye coordination. Again, you can do this seated or standing. Denise will demonstrate the seated version. What we're going to do is we're going to push out the same arm, same foot, and change sides. And just get a nice rhythm going. Nice and smooth. And then without losing any of that rhythm, What I want you to do is I want you to change to opposite arm, opposite foot.
That's not easy.
It's not easy. Just a nice rhythm. And back to same arm, same foot.
I'll get this one day.
Opposite, one more time. You're doing excellent. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Good. All right. Is that heart rate starting to go up a little bit? Feeling like you're getting a little bit of movement? That's good. Okay, now we're going to see how our balance is today. So again, you can use that chair. We're going to stand with one foot right in front of the other, like you're standing on a tightrope. Make sure the weight is evenly distributed between the front leg and the back leg. Now, if you're feeling like you're well balanced, you can let go of that chair. Bring those hands to the front of the chest. You can have them out to the side like Denise. Give you a little bit of extra feeling of balance there. And one more nice deep breath in. And relax. Let's change sides. Okay. Again, holding onto that chair if you need to. Standing up nice and tall. If you want to let go of that chair, you can bring your arms out to the side, to the center of the chest. Okay, remember when you were a kid and you walked on logs and balanced on curbs? We don't do that so much when we're adults. So we start to lose that sense of balance. Relax those arms down. Great thing to do while you're standing at the kitchen counter is maybe try to balance on one foot. The easiest way to do that is if the knee is in front of the body and the leg is behind it. So you're not in this position, this makes it harder. If you're in this position, it's a little bit easier. And you have that counter right there to grab onto if you need to. So anytime we work on that balance, it starts to improve, and that makes us feel more secure and confident. Okay. Now we're going to move up to those hips a little bit. So what I want you to do is I want you to hang on to that chair if you need to. We're going to take all of the weight onto one leg. The other leg is going to come straight out and in. So try to keep the entire trunk straight so we're not leaning into it. Perfect. We have 5 more. You're looking great. All right, let's change sides. Out and in. Two more. Nice. Okay, now we're going to give those hips a nice stretch. So we're going to do that by taking one leg, take it all the way across the other leg. That leg that's in front, take that arm, stretch it up and over. And remember, hold on to that chair if you feel like you need a little bit of support. Pushing that hip out to the side, get a nice stretch. Okay, one more nice deep breath in. And exhale. Perfect, other side. That arm up. Push that hip out to the side. And one more nice deep breath. right, we're gonna talk a little bit about using weights while we're doing any type of stretch and tone, strength training, anything like that. Weights are always optional. So if you don't have weights at home, but you wanna add a little bit of extra weight, a couple of water bottles, grab a couple of cans out of your pantry, anything like that will work. But again, like I say, weights are always optional, okay? And we're gonna do start with some upper body work. I'm gonna grab weights today, but again, like I say, these are always optional. Always when we're doing any type of exercise, do what you can do, stop and take a rest whenever you need to. And the other thing that I always tell people is do your best and forget the rest. It's all good. So we're gonna start with our palms facing forward. And we're gonna bring our arms out just to shoulder height and then slowly lower down. Again, seated or standing, either one will work. If you get tired, just do every other one. We're gonna do 10 repetitions, so we have 4 more.
I'm glad you were counting.
All right, we're gonna stop and rest for a second. The American College of Sports Medicine, ACSM, their guidelines for repetitions and sets, they recommend 3 sets of between 8 to 12 repetitions. I always pick 10 repetitions because it's an easy number for me to remember. But you can make that number greater or you can make that number smaller, either one. Okay, let's do our second set. Here we go. Okay, we have 4 more. You're looking great. And 1 more. Excellent. So just like our balance, our range of motion is a use it or lose it thing. So even if you're not using weights, it's great work for the shoulder just to do that range of motion so that we can continue to have full mobility in that shoulder joint. Okay, 1 more set out to the side. You're going to exhale as you're lifting. Now I think I lost count. That's what I thought.
Talent to count and talk.
For some reason, okay, relax those arms. For some reason, I always find it easier mentally to count backwards. To count from 10 down to 1. Because otherwise, if I count the other way, by the time I get to about 8, I'm feeling very fatigued. But when I count the other direction, I feel like I'm almost there. Yeah, I'm almost there. Almost there. All right, we're gonna do some bicep curls. So we used to teach bicep curls, simple bicep curls just like this. Those are effective. Those work your bicep really well. The problem is we want to create muscular balance between the lower arm and the upper arm. So we want to strengthen both of those muscles equally. We don't want one muscle to be overly strong and one to be weak. So we do something called pronation and supination. So what we do is we start with the hands facing our thighs. We rotate as we come up. So now my palms are facing my shoulders, and do that rotation as I come down. Excellent. Nice. All right, rest those arms. Another thing that you want to keep in mind, that you want to remember, is when anytime you're strength training, momentum is not your friend. So if you're having to really kind of put the whole body into it to get those weights up, this isn't nearly as effective as if you're going nice and slow. I tell people to think about waltzing. So it's 1, 2, 3, down, 2, 3. Okay. When I worked at BSU, this was a really hard concept for our young male athletes to understand. And so they'd pick up really, really heavy weights, and boy, they'd just be swinging them to do those bicep curls. So a trick that we would do is we would put their back flat against the wall and tell them, now see if you can lift those weights. And quite often they couldn't, because they were using momentum and couldn't understand that concept. Okay, let's do another set. Here we go. Nice and slow. How's it feeling?
Good. I think even if you don't have weights in your hand, you can just kind of think about concentrating on what you're doing and flexing and
Yeah,
as hard as you want.
If you make a fist, if you don't have weights in your hand, if you make a fist, okay, stop and rest. You make a fist with your hand, that's going to engage that that bicep while you're working. Lots of different ways that we can change the intensity of the exercise. Okay, we're going to do one more set. Weights, no weights, make a fist, anything you want to do. Here we go. Okay, we have 4 more. Looking great. Here's 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Okay, so speaking about muscular balance, we've just worked that bicep. So now we're going to change to the tricep. We're going to show you a couple of different ways to do this exercise. I'm going to do this exercise standing with my arm over my head. Denise is going to do it seated, show you a seated version. So we all know that we generally have one side that is stronger than the other side. So for instance, if you're right-handed, generally your right arm, because you use it more, is going to be stronger than if you're left-handed. So I always recommend that when you're doing this exercise overhead, that you do each arm individually. Because the reason is, if you've seen people do this exercise like this does work, but I'm right arm dominant. So when my left arm starts to become fatigued, my right arm is going to take over, and that left arm is not going to get as much work. If I do it one arm at a time, that arm has to do the work all by itself. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that arm up as close to next to my ear as I can. Weight is resting behind my head, standing up nice and tall, and I'm just going to lift it up and bring it down. Denise is going to come forward in her chair. She is in what's called a hip hinge position. So her back is nice and flat, and she's holding that upper arm stable. So this part of her arm is not moving at all. It's just this lower part of her arm. She's working that tricep. Okay, one more. Okay, stop and rest. I'm going to change sides. Again, she's going to be in that hip hinge position, so she's not rolling forward. She's bending right here from her hips, and I am going to work from over the head. Here we go.
You can also do this standing.
Okay, here we go. Two more. Nice. Okay, rest that arm. We're going to do one more set on each side. You really want to rest at least 30 seconds. Give that muscle a little bit of rest. Make sure you're breathing during all of your exercises. Keeping that oxygen saturation level up while we're exercising helps clean out the lactic acid. That's what causes that burn. Maybe later on today or tomorrow after you've done a lot of exercise. So getting that oxygen to clean that lactic acid out helps eliminate that feeling. Okay, here we go again. One more set and lift. You guys are looking great. Two more. Excellent. All right. Relax those arms.
Shake it out.
Shake it out. Okay, other side. And perfect. And let's relax those arms. Give them a nice shake. So what have you been doing to stay fit during this quarantine? Have you been getting any exercise, getting any walking? Denise got a new dog.
I've been doing a lot of dog walking.
Okay, stretch that arm across.
I think the dog's legs are longer than mine, so we've been doing a lot of walking.
So in the latest newsletter that we sent out to you, there's a link that you can reach out to both Denise or myself. We'd love to hear what you've been doing and how you're doing. If you have any questions, if there's anything we can help you with, we'd love to hear from you.
Say hello. It's very quiet around here. We miss you guys.
All right. Okay, so now we're going to do some squats. So again, there's a couple of different options for these squats. You can hold on to your chair for a little bit of balance if that makes you feel a little bit better. Some people like to do their squats with the chair right in front of them, or behind them, excuse me, right in front of their chair. They feel a little bit more secure because that way, if you start to lose your balance, you have something right there to land on. The other option, the third option, is you actually can do them reverse. So you can sit in your chair, hands on your thighs, and just feel like you're going to get up and sit back down. You don't even actually have to bring your hips all the way up off of the chair. You'll feel your legs engaged doing that. So pick one of those options that feels good to you. The other thing I want you to remember when you squat is we're pushing the fanny back behind us. So we're going back here and coming up. And I'm keeping my back nice and flat as I'm squatting. I'm hinging forward, but I'm not rounding my back forward. I'm focusing on keeping that back nice and flat. Okay, so here we go. And range of motion, totally up to you. If you just want to do a little 2-inch squat, that's perfect. All right, here we go. Down and up. Okay, 5 more. This is really gonna fire up those glutes, hamstrings, quads.
I feel it.
All right, stop and rest for a second. This legs a little shake. Well, I've been walking my dog, but Jack's legs are about this long. So we don't get very far.
Yes.
And when he decides he's done, he just sits down. So it's a good thing at 4 pounds, he's easy to carry. Because that's just, he's done. All right, here we go again. Next set. Down and up.
My blind dog is getting slower and slower. So it's not easy to walk them both.
No.
One's dragging behind and one's pulling ahead. So we walk them. Walk the slow dog and then walk the fast dog.
Okay, one more. Excellent. All right. Well, I was thinking about you telling me that you were progressing to riding your bike with the dog. And I think that's very brave. That would scare, I would be afraid that the dog would run in front of the bike or.
I tried it once. It was a little scary, but he did pull me a lot, and we went at 6:15 in the morning. So I tried to go when there'd be the fewest amount of people because there's a lot of dog walkers in my neighborhood.
Oh, that's probably very wise.
But all we saw was a mower.
Okay, one more set. Here we go. You can have your hands, if you're standing, you can have your hands on your hips. You can have them out in front of you. This just makes our heart rate go up a little bit more. Or you can have them on the back of your chair. Here we go. Okay, 4 more. Looking stronger. Nice job. Okay, let's stop here. We're going to get a drink of water. Remember, it's really important that we stay hydrated. If you are thirsty, you are already dehydrated. Something else that we have a tendency to lose as we get older is our sense of thirst. All right, excellent job.
Okay, what's next?
We are going to do some lunges. These legs are going to be so strong. So again, you can use your chair. Another thing that you can do if you want to do them seated is if you have a chair that does not have arms in it and you can turn sideways, you can do your lunges here. Have that chair right underneath you to lift up and down. Okay, 1 foot out in front of us. Make sure when you step that leg back behind you that you're not stepping it directly behind that front leg. That does not give us good balance. You kind of want to have those feet apart.
I've heard somebody say 2 separate railroad tracks. So they're not in line yet. Separate railroad tracks for each foot.
Good analogy. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're not pushing that knee forward. We're bending that back knee and coming down and lifting. So think about dropping straight up and down. Four more. All right, excellent. Give those legs a little bit of a shake. Woo! Before I came over here to the senior center today, I was at the zoo working. I was helping them out. I was outside. So I'm quite warmed up now. Because I
Even in the morning, it's getting pretty warm.
Yeah, it can. All right, let's change legs. Step that other leg behind you. Railroad track, I love that. Perfect visual. Okay, down and up. All right, excellent. And give those legs a shake. Ooh. All right, we're going to do one more set on each side. So, step back again. Very nice. Okay, here we go. Okay, 4 more. Can you feel it?
Oh yeah.
Good job.
Whew.
All right, other side. All right. Down and up. Here's 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. All right. We're going to stretch forward, give those legs a little bit of a stretch. You can use the back of the chair. You can use the side of the chair, depending on how you feel comfortable. Or you could just hinge at the hips and just stretch down, sliding those hands down legs. All right, slowly come up. Good. All right, let's do some calf raises. Nice and simple calf raises up onto the balls of the feet. Again, nice and slow, we're not bouncing. All right, stop and rest for a second. So another little tip while you're exercising, if you do something called pursed lip breathing. So the best analogy I can give you for that is like you're blowing through a straw. When you do that pursed lip breathing, it engages those abdominal muscles in the core. So we kind of get our core involved in the exercise while we're doing it. Okay, another set up onto the balls of the feet and down. So doing great. Last one, excellent job. Okay, let's bring that heel down to the floor. We're going to lift the toes up, and then I'm going to push those hips back behind me. A nice stretch in the back of that calf. Have you been eating differently while you've been staying at home? I know I have. I do most of my grocery shopping. I do online ordering, and then I pick it up in the parking lot. So it's not as convenient to buy as much produce as I normally eat, because I only go once every week to 2 weeks, and it won't last that long. So unfortunately, I have not been eating as healthy as I should, although I have been trying to. All right. All right, we're going to have a seat in our chair for this next one. You want to make sure that I am sitting forward on my chair. I'm not way back here leaning back. I want to have a little bit of room to be able to move my legs. So this next exercise is a great functional exercise. So what we're going to do is and you can hold on to the side of your chair, or if you have your arms in the chair, you can hold on to them. We're going to lift that leg up, bring it out, and set it down, and bring it up and back in. Okay, so functional means we're getting out of the car and we're getting back in, same side, and back in, sitting up nice and tall. Remember, you determine the range of motion. You could be using a smaller range of motion. Okay, last one, stop for a second. Or you could be using as much range of motion as you possibly can. All right, now we're going to do the other side. Bring it up, out, and down. Yes. Okay, we have 4 more. Looking great. All right, and give those legs a little bit of a shake. So our adductors and our abductors are not very big muscles, but they're very important muscles. So those are those muscles on the inside and the outside of our legs. We sometimes refer to them as our fall-proof muscles. So generally, if we stumble or we're off balance, it's off to one side or to another side, we use those muscles to help catch us, to recover. But because on a daily basis, this is the range of motion that we primarily use. So we work the muscles a lot in the front of our legs, the back of our legs, but we really want to focus on those on the inside and outside of those legs. All right, so now I want you to bring that foot out in front of you. Foot is flexed, toes are pulled back towards you. We're going to lift and lower. Again, sit up nice and tall. There's that string lifting you up out of the top of your head. Core is engaged, and we're just going to lift and lower. Try to use just the leg to lift. We're not kind of leaning back into it. Two more. And relax that leg. That quadricep is a big muscle. So you might feel a little bit more of a burn or a little bit more discomfort from that one. Okay, other side. Lift and lower. Pardon?
This side's easier to me.
Yeah.
My right side is tighter.
All right, onto the balls of the feet and then lift the toes off the floor. Kind of look and see that your ankles are directly underneath your hips. Just lift. All right, now we're going to walk those feet to one side, heel and toe to the other side.
You're supposed to move down to this one?
Do the hokey pokey. Oh, that's your right foot in and your right foot out. All right, bring your foot out, point and flex. As much range of motion in that ankle as you can. All right, other side. It's supposed to get really hot next week. So if you are going outside, make sure you go out early in the morning and that you stay hydrated. All right, before we finish up with a couple of final stretches, at the end of class, I always like to leave you with my favorite super easy all body exercise. I'm going to do it standing. Denise is going to do it seated. You can do this with or without weights. This is a great exercise to just do during the commercials. Do it a couple times a day. It really gets our whole body involved. Gets our chest, our back, our shoulders, our legs, our hips, everything. And it's just a squat press. It's very simple. So again, remember, you can do it with or without weights. Denise is gonna do it from that seated position. So she's gonna do that engaged, like you're gonna lift up. She's not actually gonna lift out of the chair. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna squat down and I'm gonna press it up and down and up. Gets the blood pumping, gets those muscles working a little bit. There's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stop and rest for a second. So if you can't do anything else, if you don't get out for your daily walk, if nothing else, generally with a 30-second rest in between each one of these, you can do about 3 sets during a commercial. You don't need to see that commercial anyway. You can't go out and go shopping. So just get a nice little squat press going there, make it a habit. You'll be back in good shape in no time. Here we go, one more set. There's 3, 2, and 1. Excellent job. Let's do a couple of stretches to finish up with. All right, so we're going to start. Nice flat back, come forward, and then round that back and slowly roll as you come back up. Shoulders press down, stretch forward, roll up, and shoulders down. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more. Roll up. Make sure those shoulders are relaxed down from the ears. Slowly turn that head side to side. Nice. let's not forget about those hands. I want you to bring the palms of your hands together, lift those elbows up. A nice stretch in those hands. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Lift the heels of the hands. Okay, stretch those fingers down. So don't forget, Denise and I both are looking forward to hearing from all of you. Love to hear what you've been doing. Let us know if you need anything. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them. We hope that you are staying well. You are finding maybe a new hobby. Somebody get a new hobby you want to tell us about? We'd love to hear it. And we look forward to seeing you again soon, and thank you for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Feel free to play this as many days as you like, and we'll be back soon with a new video for you. Take care.